He is an American icon, hero, and legend. He has appeared on numerous television shows, advertisements, movies, and video games. He has the most impressive fighting record in the Western Hemisphere. He defeated Joe Louis, the best fighter in the world. He made Bruce Lee into a monster. He authored the best-selling autobiography, The Secret of Inner Strength. He has beaten the odds with his fists. He's the greatest man in the world. He is Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was born on March 10th, 1940, in a log cabin he had built 2 weeks prior. It was reported that he punched his way out of his mother's womb 6 seconds after she got pregnant. Chuck's father was a drunk who was never really there for him. This led to his parents' divorce when he was only 16 years old. He also got his driver's license at the age of 16 seconds. His grandparents were Native Americans and Irish, giving Chuck a mixed heritage. His peers at school constantly tormented him for this, and also because Chuck had the tendency to beat them at games of Connect 4 in only 3 moves. Here's rare footage of Chuck Norris as a child showing his exceptional beastliness. People soon found out, when Chuck Norris speaks, everybody listens, and dies. In 1958, at the age of 18, Chuck Norris married Diane Holacek. His son Mike was born in 1963. In 1964, his daughter Dina was born, to a woman whom he was not married to. The next year, he and his wife had another child, a son named Eric. 30 years later, he got tired of his wife, spared her the roundhouse kick, and divorced. In 1998, he used his extreme play skill to marry former model Gina O'Kelly, who was the same age as Chuck's first son. He had twins with her, along with 2 more inherited children from her previous marriage, giving him a total of 7 offspring. To this day, not one of them has ever misbehaved, at least of those that are still alive. Despite the apparent importance of the aforementioned information, none of it really matters to Chuck Norris. The real Chuck Norris can be much more accurately described by the following. Chuck and his younger brother Whelan became real-life karate kids to avenge their bullied childhood. Chuck began fighting at tournaments in 1963. In 1967, his brother was defeated by Joe Louis, a person who people hailed as the best fighter in the world. Chuck Norris didn't think so. He went on to beat Joe Louis 3 times in that year, and once fought him while suffering from a broken nose. Unfortunately, the young Chuck Norris in training, Whelan Norris, was killed in the Vietnam War in 1970. This was unfortunate not only for the Norris family, but for anyone who got in the way of Chuck Norris after this. At this point in his life, Chuck Norris turned on beast mode and exploded. He went over to China to film the movie Way of the Dragon with Bruce Lee, and it went down sort of like this. While in China, Chuck heard of the legend that one day a child would be born from a dragon, grow to be a man, and vanquish evil from the land. That man is not Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris killed that man. He wasn't through with Asia just yet, though. Because his brother died in the Vietnam War, Chuck Norris developed a nasty taste for the Vietnamese. This led to the destruction of their dignity in his 3 missing in action films. Among other methods, Chuck's primary form of disrespect was to repeatedly pound his fist into the face of an arrogant Viet Cong. Upon his return to the United States, Chuck solidified his image as an American hero by starring in the film The Delta Force. But Chuck Norris's greatest acting achievement, perhaps, would have to be his Walker, Texas Ranger series. This CBS television series spanned for over 8 years, from 1993 to 2001, and was shown in over 8,000 countries worldwide. Chuck Norris has been featured in advertisements for Mountain Dew, Honda, and Mike Huckabee.
I'm Mike Huckabee, and I approve this message. So did Chuck. Chuck Norris approved.
I got Mike in my gym, and he and I sparred, worked out.
What?
I tell you, he's tough. I was surprised. He hung in there pretty good. I bet I knocked him out.
Chuck Norris does not joke. There's obviously a reason why Mike Huckabee was not elected president. On March 9, 2009, Norris was rumored to have written a column for the WorldNet Daily expressing the possibility of Texas seceding from the United States of America and then running for its president. Chuck Norris has also vented the Total Gym so that his competition can increase their odds of beating him by 6,000%, from 0% to 0%. Regardless of how great any past achievement of his could possibly be, Chuck Norris is Chuck Norris, mainly because of his subliminal involvement in video games and subsequent influence on the minds of millions of people around the world. The following sequence of clips will undoubtedly assure even the most skeptical haters that Chuck Norris is the greatest man alive.